Be talking about how to begin your journey as a data scientist or data analyst. Now, I'll try to explain all the confusion about these two careers and we'll talk why they're so popular. Also, I'll try to answer any of your questions in real time, and there is a chat going on, so you could actually ask me questions. But first thing first, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Art, and I'm a Python instructor. So I've been teaching Python for more than 8 years now. So I've been doing this for quite some time. Also, I published a couple of books about Python, so they're available on Amazon. So one is how to build mobile apps with Python. Yes. If you didn't know, with Python you could do pretty much anything. Python is really a versatile programming language, and if you're an Instagram user, you'll probably be surprised that Instagram is powered by Python. So here I wrote a book, How to Build Mobile Apps using Python. But my recent book actually about what we're going to be talking about today, how to use Python for data management, finance, and marketing. Now, we're not going to be talking about like finance in particular or marketing in particular, because all this stuff is called data science or data analytics. And today I'm here at our headquarters, RoboticView. So here at this bootcamp, we provide courses and we provide a clear path how you could actually begin your journey and start your career and get all the skills that you need to be a data scientist or data analyst. All right, by the way, please visit our website because there are a bunch of free resources, and we usually do streams, Python for finance, Python for machine learning. So sign up for these three free streams. Also, please subscribe to our channel. But first thing first, what is data science? What is data analyst? Now I'm going to this very popular resource, job boards, dice.com. If you haven't heard about it, that's like really big. And this one is dedicated to people who could actually write code. So here you could write something like data analyst. And we don't care about specific location for now, so we could just click search and let's take a look. More than 20,000 opening positions, and you see data analyst. So Salesforce data analyst. So let's take a look what they're looking for. So they're looking for databases. They're looking for, do I see Python here? I don't see Python, but usually you can find Python here too. Also, you could go to Indeed, and here I already clicked here, data science, and we could click search, and here we got another 20,000, almost 20,000 job openings. Take a look at the salaries. From 68 to 110, and then 94 to 120, 105, 135. So apparently everybody looking for data analysts or data scientists these days. Why? Because we live in the digital world and we need to analyze this huge amount of data. Right? So for example, if you're in marketing, or maybe if you're just in any business and you place in these digital ads, so your first question would be, what are the chances that if somebody clicks on my ad, that person would buy something from me, right? So, and using machine learning algorithms, as a matter of fact, you could make predictions. You could actually make predictions if somebody clicks on your ad. So what would be the chances that that person would buy something from you, right? Also, pretty much any company these days need information about client profile. All right, so where our client live, so what do they eat for breakfast, and all the other nonsense information that they're gathering about us and they could actually use. So pretty much any company these days would need somebody who could actually do these three things: gather information, manipulate information, and analyze information. So that would be data analyst or data scientist, all right? And I believe you could go to Indeed on your own or Dice and just check that information. And what is a data science anyway? So let me give you an example. So, and by the way, later, if you have a chance and if you want to write some code, so we will write some code. I'm going to show you how to use Python, so we're going to talk about that stuff too. So basically, data science or data analysis, it's all about telling a story. You got some data and you're trying to squeeze some information from that data, and you're trying to tell a story based on those numbers. And most of the time we would perform something called EDA, exploratory data analysis. So let me give you a simple example. Now there is a very popular data set about housing pricing in California. And what we're trying to do here, first we're trying to do some EDA, we're trying to do some analysis. And for example, here there is an assumption. We assume that population density would be higher close to large cities. And let's take a look. So basically on latitude and longitude, we actually plot all that data where all the houses located. And I hope you could see there is a cross here, there is a cross here. So obviously this would be San Francisco, so that would be LA. And then based on that, you could say yes. So we find, and you present your finding, that average population in California would be like around 1,500 I guess houses per block. I don't remember here what we were trying to do exactly, but yeah, so trying to tell a story. So also you could plot prices. You could say, all right, so average price would be so and so, and this would be outliner, and then you could make a decision what to do with outliners. Maybe you need to remove them if you're planning to use some algorithms. And you see, so it's pretty much all about manipulating data, plotting data, manipulating data, and that's kind of fun because I don't know about you, but I'm a curious guy. I always want to know, all right, so give me some statistics and give me some information. I would like to analyze this information. Now, usually I get this question asked, yeah, that's kind of cool, but do I need to really be into math or statistics? So the answer is pretty much not that much you have to be in math. Why? So I would say if you, as I hope we all here went to school, so we all got this, I would say, average knowledge of math, so that would be totally enough. Why? Because most of the algorithms, they actually got everything built into them. So you don't need to write and calculate these formulas, no. So obviously, if you got really good knowledge of math or statistics, that would be an advantage. But usually as we go through all these algorithms, we explain all these statistical concepts and math concepts in our courses. So yeah, so we don't want just plot information, we also want to understand what's going on there, and we teach all this stuff in our courses. So, and you see, so this would be like an average example of some data analysis that you grab, and you could actually work with that. So also, if you want to be data scientist or if you want to be data analyst, you need to be familiar with machine learning, and you need to know different algorithms. And again, all the stuff we teach here. So for example, very popular and my favorite machine learning algorithm, decision tree. And there are different types of machine learning. So there is supervised machine learning. So supervised machine learning is pretty much when you take when you take some data, known data, for example, you're trying to predict price of a house, or maybe if you're trying to predict, like in this case, if somebody is married or not, based on income, based on previous observations. So that would be supervised machine learning. And then there is unsupervised machine learning. This is pretty much where you take data, you feed into machine, and you hope that machine will find some pattern and will make some sense out of the data. So I don't know, for me it's like really fun. I've been doing this for quite some time, and especially this is fun for me because I used to work as a financial analyst, so I really like work with numbers, especially with financial data. And yes, we also learn like all these algorithms such as linear regression. So don't be intimidated by all these formulas, you know, they're not this scary. And the best part is that you don't need to calculate everything with a pencil. So all the stuff already built in the algorithm. So for example, to calculate all this stuff, all you have to do is just to do 2 lines of code, this and this. And here what's pretty much going on, we're initializing linear regression model that's got all the formulas built in, and then here on this line 15 we train this model, and then we make a prediction. So in this case, obviously this is a little example, made up example, where we're trying to predict the price of house if square footage of the house was 3,300, and apparently based on historic data, such house should be priced at $628,000. Again, if you're in real estate, so don't write bad comments for me, because this is just made up example, and this is how we start learning all these algorithms. So let's talk a little bit about acquiring skills. Now, is it difficult to be a coder? Now, what if you're not a young guy? So that's totally fine, because believe me, it's not a rocket science. I worked with many companies and I do a bunch of corporate tutorials. And as a matter of fact, I worked with a couple of companies that were like kind of in medical insurance business, and they needed actually people with knowledge of the industry and knowledge of medical field. So basically they would hire people with no prior knowledge of programming, and they would give them 6 months to acquire Python. So based on my experience, and believe me, I've been doing this for quite some time, since 2016 or something like that. So 6 months totally enough to learn Python and master Python as a programming language. Of course, you want to go faster, and there is a secret sauce. I'm not going to lie to you. So secret sauce is hard work. So it all depends how many times a day you would allocate practicing. If you practice 8 hours a day, so believe me, you're going to get there in 2-3 weeks. Believe me, it's not like really rocket science. If you don't have that much time, if you could just allocate like a couple of days a week, so it will probably take like a month and a half. And again, it depends also on the background. So I would say that if you're a complete beginner, you never coded before, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, so then if you really apply yourself, so I would say like 2.5, max 3 months, all right? And you could get there, believe me. But again, you would need to really apply yourself, all right? And if you want to give it a try, and if you want to see what this code is about and how to write this code, so what we could do, we could, if you want to follow me, we could go, there is no need to install anything. You could go to Google Colab. So that's like really cool resource online. And by the way, you could just Google Colab, and it will take you to this page, or check in the description to this live stream. So then you could click there. I got this link. It will take you there. All you have to do is to create a Google login and a password. Now, I'm going to give you some time to do that, and then in the meantime, I'm going to show you another option how you could actually use Python and how you could write Python code. So the easiest way would be to go to python.org, and then, so this is official Python page. So here you could go to downloads and download the latest version. So that's totally fine, but that would require text editor. And then there are a bunch of different text editors. They're all, maybe not all free, but most of them are free, such as Visual Studio Code and stuff like that. And you need to download Python on your computer. It will take a minute. And then you would need to compose files in that text editor. However, if you're planning to do some data analysis and data science, I would recommend Anaconda. All right, so what is Anaconda? Anaconda is a package. So it's a package that comes with a bunch of Python extensions. And one of the reasons why Python is so popular, and by the way, if you're still using Excel, you probably heard the news, because Excel losing competition, and Excel actually included Python in Excel version. They don't have that version for Mac yet. They just got it for, I think it's trial version for Windows, correct me if I'm wrong. But you see they're losing competition, so they actually added Python. So Anaconda is a package that comes with a bunch of different extensions. And like I was saying, Python is so popular because you can find extension for anything. So for example, if you want to get information from Twitter, you could grab information from Twitter. There is a special what we call library for that. If you want to grab information from Google, any information you could gather from Google, let's say if you're in digital marketing and you want to more efficiently analyze that data, so you could actually, Google got special Python library, so you could actually grab that data from Google Analytics and you could actually analyze that data. So Anaconda is a package, and if you install this, you don't need to install anything else because it comes with, I don't remember how many, but I believe like more than 100 different Python extensions. And it might take quite some time, so that's why I would recommend today use Google Colab. So if you already got a login and a password, so let's try to write some code. So here you'll find file, and so Google Colab is based on Jupyter Notebook. So Notebook is a fancy name for a file. All right, so there is like special app, which by the way is a part of Anaconda, and they got this Jupyter Notebook, and Notebook is a fancy name for file. So basically, Google created the same stuff only in the cloud, so there is no need to install anything. So if you click here, okay, we don't need this. You'll see this stuff here. So this is called a cell. If you need more cells, you could click here. All right. If you need to remove cells, you could click here. All right. So let's do something simple. And something simple could be something like this. Now, first thing first, and that's exactly where we start our course for beginners. We explain them the basics. We want to build a fundament for all this like really cool stuff, but you need to learn the alphabet first. And speaking of alphabet, we could actually use letters here, and this letter would act as a variable name. And what is a variable name? Variable name pretty much like in the school. X could be a variable name, Y could be variable name, right? And here A is randomly picked variable name, doesn't mean anything. So here I use equal sign to assign a value, let's say 7. All right, now keep in mind that what you need to do, every time you want to execute this code, you would need to click this run button, or Alternative version, if you don't want to click this run button, would be shift plus enter, so that would be shortcut. Or you could click this, and now you see it will take a second, so it will execute this code. So basically what just happened, now we got A that holds that value 7. All right, very good. Let's do one more. Let's do B, 10. And then what we could do, we could actually write an expression total x plus, not x, I'm sorry, A plus B. And then run this play button again, or do shift enter because we need to execute this code. So guess what? Total will hold that value of that total, you see? Total. All right. And that would be 17. So it's not that difficult to use, and of course there are some things that you need to learn and you need to practice. All right. All right, so let's do something more sophisticated. I want to show you how to use pandas here, because we're talking about data science here, right? So since pandas, and when I say pandas, I'm not talking about these little cute bears that out there somewhere in China. I'm talking about very powerful library called panel data. Panel data is a econometric term, and what it means two-dimensional data. So here we need to import pandas as PD. Pandas as PD. So since that's an extension of Python, we need to import it. And of course, everything already built in, but you need to do this expression always on top. And then here, let's create a data frame. Now, important part to understand, and that's what we're trying to teach in our courses, you need to understand all these specific words, because you want to look like a pro, not like amateur. And also in our courses, we prepare you for all common job interview questions. Of course, we don't know like everything, but usually if you're applying for a junior position or as a data scientist or data analyst with Python knowledge, I bet I could guess like 90% of questions that you would be asked during the job interview. And every time in our courses, when we talk about these things, we actually like emphasize our attention on them, and we want to know them because we want to, our job here, first learn how to use Python, but also be able to pass a job interview, all right? And also we prepare you for a technical part of a job interview, because usually there are two parts. There is like a regular part where they would ask you some questions about your previous job and this and that, and then there is technical part. Also, some people would say, hey, I don't have much experience in this field, or maybe I don't have any experience. Maybe I'm just like trying to switch from totally different field. That's okay, because you just saw that there are like 20,000 of opening positions and they need people. And of course, they don't want to just grab like any random guy from the street to fill that position. But what I'm saying is during our courses, we work on actual projects. So we build you a portfolio of projects. So even if you don't have experience, you could say during the job interview, take a look at my portfolio, take a look at my projects. I'm really excited about this stuff. And that's what I do in my spare time, you see. So yes, you will have actual projects to show to potential employers, and we will prepare to job interview. All right, so let's create a data frame. So data frame is a very popular container. Now, I don't want to like use too many buzzwords. So container for data, data frame. And right now, if you take a look, by the way, every time I do something, do not forget to run the cells. So now you see I got this green mark here, green mark here, green mark here. So it means that what it means that I clicked on this run cell. All right, run cell. So then we could populate this data with something like, suppose we're playing a party and we want to have some food. And here we want to order some food, and I know we want to order obviously pizza, right? Who does like pizza? Then we'll order some salad because yeah, we want to eat healthy. Then we want to get some, I don't know, couple of steaks. All right, steak. And let's do something else. Nachos. All right, nachos. All right. So that's what we got. Again, now take a look at the data frame. You see we actually added one column. And yes, I know it looks like spreadsheet, but it's not a spreadsheet. It's much more efficient and it's faster than any spreadsheet. So that's another reason why Python is so popular. All right, let's add another column, and this column we call price. All right, so here we want to add prices, and suppose pizza is like, I don't know, $25.99. Salad would be, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm in New York, so it's New York prices, okay. So $15.99. So steak would be, let's say, $26.99, and nachos would be, let's say, $9.99. All right, so randomly picked prices. Okay, and let's add one more column because I'm about to show you something. So here we'll add column. Let's call it quantity. So we need to know how much quantity. So how many pizzas we would need to add. All right, randomly pick numbers. We need 5 pizzas. 5 always better than 4, right? So we want to get 4 salads. We want to get 3 steaks because they're expensive, and we want to get 2 nachos. All right, now here let's take a look what I got now. So now I have this data frame with this data. So I mentioned a couple of times that Python is more efficient than Excel, and you're probably wondering why. Let me explain you why. So first of all, with Python, you could get this information from different sources. You could get this data in real time. Now, for example, if you're on finance and if you're planning to use Python for algorithmic trading, so obviously you need to analyze and manipulate data in real time. So that's very important, and you could get that data in real time. Also, you could get information from Excel files, from CSV files. If you work with a database, you could fetch data from a database and you could use Python to analyze this data, and a bunch of other sources. For example, web scraping. So what it means that you could just scrape data from websites. So for example, there is an online store and maybe you want to keep an eye on your competitor and you need to actually compare prices to see what's going on in the market. So then you could actually write Python script that will be automatically gathering all that information in real time from different websites. So then you could actually analyze this data. All right, so let me show you another thing, how easy to manipulate Python and data frame. So now here we got price, we got quantity. So now we want to know, all right, so how much money do we need to spend on all this stuff? So will it fit our budget? So then here I'll grab column price, and you see I could slice a column. And I'll perform vectorized operation. Yes, it's possible in Pandas, vectorized operations, because technically if you take a look here, so this one column could be considered as a vector. And no worries if you don't remember any of linear algebra from the school. It's really easy. Again, we explain all this stuff in our courses as we go. So vector is pretty much one-dimensional container, and then you could perform vectorized operations. Now, for example, here we could take this price and multiply it by quantity, you see, and then it will get us all these results. And if we want to save them, so we could create new column, and let's call this, I don't know, amount or something like this, right? Amount, something like this. So now take a look, and now with data frame we have that that amount. And then if you want to see if it fits our budget, so then you could take amount and you could run sum. So you see, it's not that difficult, it's not a rocket science like I told you, see, and you could immediately see sum. And there are a bunch of other things that you could do. So for example, you could do filtration easily. And how would you do it? Now suppose I want to get all prices where the price is less than what? Let's take a look. Is less than $10, you see. So then we could easily write this, you see. It's like really easy to write these expressions where the price is less than $10, and then we could find that item, which would be nachos, and where the price is $9.99, less than $10, you see. So it's not a rocket science. So then another thing that we could do, we could maybe find the most expensive item, So then what we could do, we could actually rewrite this expression, and I want to know which one would be the most expensive item. So then I could take that price and I could go by max price, and apparently steak, because the price of steak is the most expensive one, so it's $26.99. You see, again, a syntax is not that bad. However, it's pretty much like learning a foreign language, you know, you still need to work on syntax. And I usually get this question asked like, hey, if we take your courses, will we get a job? Very good question. Now, let me tell you something. Now, if you think of getting a job as a formula, and success would mean 100%, so then you could see that this 100%, we could actually split it as a formula into 70%. So that's what you're going to get from our course. And then plus 30, that would be your hard work, you see. So again, so 70% will give you everything, will prepare you for a job interview, will provide you with a bunch of exercises to practice. You could ask as many questions as you like. You could retake the course over and over again. That's totally fine with us. And this 30% you still have to work. All right. So it's not like a history lesson where you could sit back, relax, and just like listen and you say, no, you need to actually do some work, of course. All right. And yes, I would actually I would say that probably 5% would be luck. It would be luck. All right. Okay. So now what else can we do here? So we could perform a little bit of EDA, pretty much what I was telling you, and maybe we want to plot this information as a bar chart amount for each position. So then what we could do here, we could import very popular library in Python, Matplotlib, pyplot as PLT. So that's a core Python library for data visualization. There are some other libraries, but if you understand this one, everything else will be easy. And here what we want to do, we want to plot it as a bar chart. So here I could do PLT bar. And in Python, so it's not that difficult to remember everything, because I know that if you just like watching me and saying, hey, how would you remember all this stuff? it's really easy because I'm teaching you how to approach this. You take PLT and then you can find all the, you see, it's helping you. You can find all the functions that actually built in into Matplotlib library. So all these commands, so there is no need to remember anything. There is no need to remember anything. You want to plot a bar, all right, good. So then, gee, I don't remember how to use bar, or I never use bar function. So here you could actually click and then it will get you help. You see, so they actually explain you everything. So apparently it requires X and height, you see, and they explain everything here. So you don't need to learn everything by heart, because we teach you this approach, how to approach this stuff. And then here, all right, so what's going to be X, what's going to be Y? X will be our food, and Y, our height, would be df amount. Now we don't need to do this X like here, so that's pretty easy. So let's run this, and you see, now you could plot this data. Yeah, simple data, you could plot it, you see. Pizza, salad, steak, nachos. Now you want to make it pretty, no problem. We could add title. And keep in mind that all the stuff could be saved as a file, so you could use them in presentation or anywhere, or you could actually insert them into Excel if you like. So again, don't think that like you shouldn't be using Excel. No, you could combine this too if you've been using Excel. So Python would be like really cool addition, believe me, to your skill set. And here we could do like food for party, and that would be our title, you see. So kind of cool, very easy, not difficult to use. Okay, what else? So if you just try that, so you understand that that's not rocket science, and we teach everything here. And by the way, if you go to our courses, we have Python Data Science Intensive coming pretty soon. So next date would be November 28th to December 21st. And we have night sessions, so pretty much we work from 6 to 9, and everything is online, and we provide you again with the book, with the videos, and it's live instruction. And believe me, because I've seen many instructors, and it's all about the instructor. It's all about the instructor. I mean, you could have name of a boot camp in gold letters, but it matters who actually your instructor, because that's the guy who's going to explain you everything, you see. So it's all about this. And if you decide to take any programming course, my advice to you, before you actually commit to programming course, take a free class with that person, and make sure that that person will be actually leading that class, because that's the most important part. All right, and here we have night sessions from 3 hours each, usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9. And also you could scroll down, so here we got more days. We got weekdays, and that would be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that would be kind of like really intensive, immersive course, so that you could take if you're like really serious about the stuff. All right. Also, please check our free resources. We got a bunch of videos, and if you have questions, more questions, why Python so popular, do I need a background in math, pretty much I tried to answer all these questions today, but here you'll find more information. And also, if later you have more information, you could always send us email at enroll at roboticview.com. All right, or you could write your comments and ask questions there. By the way, if you're on YouTube channel, please subscribe, because usually we do a bunch of resources, such as if you're in finance, we do free Python for finance classes and a bunch of other stuff. All right, okay, so I'm going to give you a minute and answer your questions. Let me take a look at our chat here. All right, okay, so if you have no questions now, you could get back to me later. You could write your questions in comments, or you could go to just send me an email. All right, thank you very much for joining us today, and let me know if you have any questions later. All right, goodbye.